Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. JACALYN. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. JACALYN at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and our show today is the Mallorca Connection. We've got a great topic today, which is the Great Resignation. Some of us have been following this, have been participating in this, are interested in this, so we're really going to dig into it with our guest today. Joining me on this show each and every week, regardless of where it is he is in the world, is my friend and mentor. He is a co-host here. He is one of our expert presenters on Talking Heads. He's an elevated listener, and he's also going to be starting, moderating, and hosting various panels that we have here at USA Global TV. Let's welcome him, Mr. Roland FRIEDL. Hi.
Hi, Dr. JACALYN. Great to see you again.
Nice to see you as well. I'm really excited for this topic, and I'm just so in awe that no matter where you are, since you left the beautiful island of Mallorca and got into your RV, you're able to do the show and connect with us. So thank you so much for taking us with you.
It's always an honor and a pleasure to participate on this amazing platform.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you for your guidance and mentorship. You have helped me so much, and I have the utmost respect for you for everything that you've done in your career. For people who are just joining us for the first time, especially those on our new radio channels who are listening in, I'm going to spotlight you. And if you could share a little bit about your journey and how you work with people, and also about some of the new opportunities that are coming up that you're going to be running.
Yes, sure. It's a pleasure. Yeah. Hi, guys, ladies and gentlemen out there, wherever you're joining us, listening to us, watching us, observing us. I'm Roland, and as maybe you can hear from my accent, I'm not American, I'm not UK. I am originally from Austria, a small little country in the middle of Europe. And I'm a world traveler. I always say the world is my office, the world is my home. I'm always traveling. Actually, for the last 14 years, my home base was on the beautiful island of Mallorca. That's where the name comes from, the Mallorca Connection. But I'm always traveling. Right now, I'm traveling with my RV. I'm broadcasting here now from Düsseldorf, an amazing city in Germany. Yeah, and I had a normal career, high school, university. I was studying different topics. I was always interested in different topics. And then I made a fast career in the corporate world. I was, I guess, the youngest member of board of director of a huge company. I quit this after 3 years on this high level, starting my own businesses in different areas. So I got an amazing expertise in different areas because I'm always was willing to learn from others, listening to others, learn from different industry, learn from different perspectives of management, leaders from different areas. And at the same time, I was founding a family. So I always say, foremost, I'm a human being. I'm a man. I'm a father. I'm a grandfather already. I'm a lover. And what I experienced during my fast career was that I really didn't enjoy my private life. So I was very exhausted when I come home. I was not really present to be really there as a father for my kids. So I changed this. I said, no, that's not what I want in my life. So I quit the corporate world. I built up my own businesses. Also with a lot of work, but the interesting thing was my sons were 3 sons who are now raised up and grown in their own families, but they're really with me. They enjoyed it. I took them with me on the travel, so I always rented a nice home for there. And when one appointment was not working, so there was something was cancellation, I went back to this home. I spent my free time with my kids wherever they've been in the house or at a public pool or wherever, and then I went back to the appointment. So I had much more time with my kids, and I enjoyed much more. And when I started 3 decades ago, when I started my career or my other company on coaching consulting companies, I do this many years for international big organizations, but also for startups companies. working with executives all over the world, helping them not only to perform much better, meaning higher, faster, bigger, but also to help them to have a more purposeful and happy life. So when they come home from their job in the late evening or in the night or on the weekends, that they really are energized and having time and being present for the beloved ones when they come back home, instead of being exhausted, almost close to burnout, compensating the emptiness in there and the sadness in there in them with any addiction, eating too much food or alcohol or any other drugs and stuff like that. So I dedicated in my life, as I mentioned, not only to be a better manager, a better executive leader, but also to have a more purposeful and a more happy life. That's what I do almost 30 years now. I really loved it, getting the feedback. And by this, I coach also people who are very, very interested to have maybe not the same crazy lifestyle myself, but having a wireless life, working from different places in the world. It hasn't to be an island in the Caribbean or in Mallorca like myself. Maybe it's just their own garden in front of their house or on the terrace, whatever it is, or on a mountain. So do that. And I'm also dedicated my life to man, supporting man to being more aware about emotions and having the trust and the confidence to talk about it, what is really a release and a healing perspective. So I have different platforms. And this brings me the one thing I'm really very excited to announce that. So in the next few weeks, we will bring a new show on USA Global TV. It's a show by men, for men, about man topic. I'm very happy about it. It's called Wild at Heart, Bonfire Dogs. And this will be really real men, authentic men, uncut, because there's so much fake stuff outside. So there's just normal guys from different parts of the world, and we'll share their thoughts and insight about different topics. So yeah, so stay tuned. We will bring it on soon.
Fantastic. So much going on behind the scenes here at USA Global TV. And Roland has just been so instrumental in helping us grow and bringing new people to the platform and sharing new ideas. So thank you so much for that.
As I said, it's on a pleasure. And, you provide this amazing platform. I know that the amazing job you're doing, and it's our job as a presenter or an expert to fill it with content, with really value content for our audience.
Yes, for sure. That's what we're all about: entertainment, motivation, inspiration, and education. So I'd love for you to introduce our guest who's backstage.
Yeah, absolutely. I met Marcin actually a few months ago. It's a funny story, I have a very good friend who runs also a training company. I know him for many years, as he was a client before. Then he in a big corporate, a worldwide corporate. And then he started his own training consulting company in Egypt. He's a guy from Egypt. And I helped him out with a lot of consulting and coaching and stuff like that. It's a good friendship. And he asked me, hey, I'm working together with a Hungarian company, an international training company. They're offering a train-the-trainer. How about joining the train-the-trainer and just listen? I said, you know what? I'm always open to learn something new, different perspectives, even if they call me an expert international, but I say I never stop learning and I never stop being a student in different topics. So that's important for me, always to be updated and learn from others. And this train-the-trainer, part of this train-the-trainer was presented by a guy. And I said, hey, the guy's cool. I like the attitude, how he's facilitating this, how his approach is. And I have a good feeling for good, for people with good character. And yeah, after the train-the-trainer, I invited him to the Sparring for Men, this platform where men meet internationally twice a month, and he joined this. And then I was talking about the show, and then I said, hey, yeah, I'm here. And to be honest, he's not only a guest for the day for this amazing topic, he will also join us on the show that will come up soon, the Wild at Heart Men Show. So I'm very happy to have him on board. And yeah, he has an amazing career. Actually, as a background, he's a biologist, so he will also be on the Wild Mental Show, but for that about later. But today, as he's working as a successful trainer, coach, and consultant for international companies for many years, we will talk today about the Great Resignation, what we can do as a better job. So welcome, Marcin.
Welcome to the show. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Marcin.
Hi, it's nice to meet you.
It's nice to have
Thank
you
you
here. Where
for
are you joining
inviting
us
me.
from today?
Sorry?
Where are you joining us from today?
Yeah. So this actually not so easy to explain, as a year ago I moved out from Warsaw, from Poland, to the far side of the country, and I'm now living in something called a village. It's actually a village, as I have no neighbors. I live in woods, somewhere in the north part of Poland.
Well, we're glad to have you with us. So thank you so much for joining. So as Roland just shared, we're going to be talking about the Great Resignation, and we've seen a lot of articles published about it, news reports. So when you think about the Great Resignation, what does that actually mean to you?
I have my own take on that because it is aligned with my life decisions, as for example, moving out from the city capital or from the country capital and deciding to just work only remotely for my company as a coach, and also leaving everything behind me just to live in nature. So I didn't change my employer, but I changed how I work entirely. And it is aligned with the situation, sure, and now with ongoing stabilization of the world called, we might say so. So I am a part of this movement in my heart. So I think I understand why people are doing it.
Thank you so much. So it sounds like what you're saying is, as though we're reading that people are leaving their corporate work, they don't necessarily have to leave their corporate work unless it's a toxic environment. They can reevaluate how they're working. Roland?
Yeah, I say.
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting topic, because I also do this with my company. I'm moving for success, how to find, how to attract talents, how to bind them, how to develop them. But I'm interested, Marcin, what do you think, how can companies or organizations really attract the employees and then hold them so they retain, they stay with them, they bind them? What's the secret sauce for that?
If I would knew this secret, probably I would be already very rich. Probably this answer is not very easy. I am working in different companies, big companies, worldwide, and by comparing just the cultures between them, I see big differences. Even if they're operating in almost the same business, the approach towards client or people is different. And I think this is what we actually want as employees, because we wish to work to a company that is responsible, that is treating us well, and is treating us as people, not as some mistakes or actions. And as new generations are coming into the labor market, I think they are more aware that actually this is something that you can expect from your boss or your leader or your employee or your employer, right? And as people maybe a little older, we may be more used to this older practice that if you are employed, that means you owe something to company. And the company or your leader can actually dictate some rules to you and can take out your life for money. And I think it doesn't need to be like this necessarily. And those big companies that are aware that this shift is now occurring, they're succeeding. So big brands who are just treating their people fairly and cost, I think, much this situation better.
Absolutely. When we're talking about a big resignation, I was reading a study currently that, for example, in the German-speaking market, 2/3, so 67% of the people would not stay in the job if they wouldn't get paid. So I call it a modern prostitution. So they're not happy in the church. They're already, has left the company. They're still there. They're doing a 9-to-5 job. They're not engaged anymore. They're not motivated anymore. They just go there. They do what is necessary to not be fired. So what can organizations do differently? And how can leaders behave differently with their team? What is your opinion?
Yeah, I think this points out actually to basic needs that we have as human beings. I'm studying psychology now, and also I have my own experience regarding mental health as I'm struggling with depression. And I know how important it is us to really have this feeling of meaning of my work, of purpose, right? So if I need to go somewhere and do something, I really need, this is my imminent need, just feel that I'm doing it for something, that there's this higher goal. And I love your comparison with a church, because actually this is how church used to work before, right? So we are going there because we believe that there is something big than us, that there is something more important, something valuable, once that we are driven with. And that's why church is gather people every Sunday, for example, if you talk about Catholic Church. And the thing about, I would extend this person to the workplace. So if there is something so important for me that I'm willing to give my time, my effort, my engagement, then I will do it. But if you as my leader or you as my employer communicating the purpose will not let me feel the deep connection with my work, I will be just naturally disengaged. And it doesn't mean necessarily I'm a bad person as a employer, or a leader as a person, as a leader. I think the key lies in communication. When I work with managers at different levels, from top to bottom, and I ask them why you actually wake up. Well, why actually you are out of bed in the morning? What is that something that makes you just go out and do what you do? And then I ask them to explain, as I would be a 6-year-old child, what is the meaning of your work? And then I see the struggle. I can get from their faces that actually they are struggling to give the answer, because maybe for the first time from some period of time they are trying to think what is so,
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
if
A
as
question
leader
I have for
you are able to communicate this purpose to your people, you understand this purpose.
I think there's a technology, there's a lag. So my apologies. I thought you had finished speaking. So a question that I have for actually both of you, Roland, you mentioned this earlier, and actually you and I have talked about this a couple of times off the show, is that statement about, would you do this? Would you go to your work, or would you do whatever it is for free? If you weren't getting paid, would you still do the job? Would you still go into the company and do the work if it was free? And I had never thought about that before. And when I think about it, I know today I love what I'm doing, and I did do it for free. So I think there's something to be said about that, as opposed to if you're just checking off boxes and collecting a check, then that's affecting your mental health. It's affecting your ability to interact with your loved ones, like what you experienced, Roland. So I would love for each of you to just share your thoughts about that. We'll start with Roland.
Yeah, actually, I made many years ago. I made an experience that was a game changer for me in the corporate world. As I mentioned in my intro before, I had a very fast career in my corporate world. Did I love what I do? Well, the job was okay. I didn't like the environment, to be honest. I didn't like the environment. So they paid me a hell of money. It was nice the first month, the second month, the third month. But after 5, 6 months, you're used to the money you get. But then you think about, do you really go there every single day? And what I say, giving not only my knowledge, my experience, but my lifetime there. And I will never forget that I was invited by a friend of mine to join a business opportunity, to see a company. They had I don't know, a convention, so I went there. I don't know how many thousand people have been there. And what really amazed me was they went there for the weekend, didn't get paid their own travel expenses, hotel, flight, whatever. And they're so amazingly motivated. I said, what is this company doing differently? Because I remember when I asked my staff, can you stay longer? Or I want to do a kickoff meeting on the weekend. We invite you to a nice hotel, everything paid. No, I don't want. And they're everyone paid by themselves, all expenses, and they're so motivated. So I went to the owner of this company and said, what are you doing differently? And he said, you know what? We are not successful because of our product. The product is amazing. We are successful because we care about our people. I guess this was 28 years ago, something like that. And this company is still very amazingly successful because they really care about their people. Absolutely. And I really, and this is what I see is I guess these people would also spend their weekends if they wouldn't get paid, because they love the atmosphere, the energy, the motivation. And that's what I learned. And I was rethinking about my own life. I said, would I do my job if I wouldn't get paid? And I said, no. And that was one of the points that I mentioned between that I didn't have time to raise my kids or see my kids growing. I was okay, I quit. I have to change my life. And actually, I had a coaching client from a big French company, and we had also the same conversation. He told me, "Yeah, Roland, I can't do this because of my kids." And I said to him, don't bring your kids as an excuse. Your kids are the reason why you should change it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I learned. So, of course, it's easy to say in the position I'm right now. But to be honest, in the beginning, when I changed my thinking and behaving, of course I had less income in the beginning, of course. But then it was growing because I was not focused just on the money. I was focused on the stuff I love to do. It's all about, I'll say, caring and sharing and inspiring people. And then the money comes. Because when you really add value to the people and you do whatever, it doesn't matter if you work as a coach or if you work as a carpenter or as a plumber or as a baker, doesn't matter what you're doing, but you love what you do, you will have success. Absolutely. I strongly believe this.
Thank you so much. What are your thoughts?
As I changed my career several times because I was working as a spokesperson for a non-governmental organization. I was working in media, in television, in internet radio as well. And then I joined the HR company as a salesperson. Now I'm as a trainer coach, create my own projects for my clients, working with them closely. So I think I know what it takes to actually take this big leap to change everything and start from scratch. And it's excruciating anxiety come with it. So actually, the act of bravery is not to run away from it, but embrace it somehow. And it is difficult. And I feel that now many people, when they are living the current role, I just hope they choose wisely to go after what their heart really desire and what they really want. Because I know a lot of accountants who are great painters, for example, or a lot of people that are just not very fit to the job that they are doing. So they hate their job because they do not have maybe this opportunity or maybe this motivation or courage or inspiration to search for something that they really truly love. So I'm totally for working with love, and I believe that when you're doing what you love, then you are not actually working, but you are, and then success comes.
Yes, I agree. You're actually shining as you're doing what it is that you love, I think, and I can see that and feel that here. So we're going to take a quick break and hear from a couple of our sponsors, and then we'll be back with more discussion around the Great Resignation. If you have any comments or questions, we'd love to hear from you while we're live streaming. That would be terrific. All right, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
When all my broken sneakers started to pile up in the wardrobe, I realized that we have a problem. Sneakers are made from plastics, and plastic is not mendable. My name is Philip, and I'm one of the founders of Our Choice Fashion. How many times did this happen to you? How can eco sneakers save the world when they break after only a few months and we have to buy pair after pair that breaks? We are here to give you the solution, a choice for truly sustainable fashion in the world's first circular sneakers. On average, we all buy 3 pairs of sneakers each and every year. This adds up to 25 billion sneakers per year, of which most end up in landfills. This adds up to 350 million tons of CO2 emissions, the same amount as for the country of Italy or the state of California. So we started to develop a product that would have all the old-fashioned qualities. It is mendable, it has a classic design, and it has a natural comfort. Because we chose the best designer there is, Mother Nature. The sneakers get more and more comfortable the more you wear them. Made from vegetable tan leather and natural latex from the rubber tree, the sneakers are both sustainable and comfortable. These sneakers are made from pure raw materials that are both fully biodegradable and fully recyclable. The best thing here really is that when your sneakers need an upgrade, you just send them right back to us using the same bag that you got them delivered in. We then resole your sneakers, put on a fresh pair of laces, and give them a nice new polish. This means that you can wear your sneakers for many years to come. Our sneakers are more than sneakers. They are a circular function, and we developed a smart pull for you to step into your sneakers without stepping down the heel. This means that you get a truly sustainable grip. We've got a fully circular business model, and that's why we'll only produce sneakers on your demand. Book your product now and get that sustainable grip at a discount. We've been on this amazing journey for 2 years, and now we're inviting you to also make a choice for truly sustainable fashion. Try the world's first circular sneakers, 100% plastic-free, and I can promise you that our choice will be your companion for many years to come.
welcome back to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and our show today is the Mallorca Connection. And I just want to give a quick shout out to Charles J. Reed, CPA. He's written the Payroll Book, a guide for small businesses and startups, and he's been our guest here on the platform, and he's coming back. So thank you so much for sending me your book. I really appreciate it. All right, our topic today is the Great Resignation, why millions of people are leaving the corporate workplace to go out on their own or do something different. Joining me is my co-host and friend, Mr. Roland FRIEDL. Welcome back. And our special guest, MARCIN. Hello, welcome back.
Hello.
Nice to have you. Okay, gentlemen, before we went to the break, we were talking about a number of topics. And so I'd like to come back in on the topic of people watching the show around the world. All of a sudden, the light bulb's going off and they're thinking, I've been like a zombie walking around, just doing the same thing over and over again. What direction, what counseling, what coaching can you give them to think about either staying where they are and doing something differently, or going out on their own? Who wants to start with that?
Marcin.
Yeah, I'm a volunteer here. Well, I have a great experience working with some of the people from different organizations for past few months on a very special training program called Emotions in Action. And this is a program, it's a kind of a training, but it's more like a workshop maybe, when we are discovering actually some basics, how our emotions are affecting our work-related satisfaction. And I must tell you, I had a great experience from people and great learnings as they were really exploring how they can make their own work more like their own. So how can they also maybe stress a little bit better by thinking about things differently? Or maybe how can they improve the communication just by embracing how they emotionally feel? And after this program, some of those people said, for example, one lady said to me, "Marcin, I know this guy, and thanks to this workshop, I realized that I think I'm on the edge of the burnout, and my colleague is as well. So we will seek for some treatment or some help." Or another lady said, "Listen, after that, I realized that I am communicating with my daughter a little bit better, who is a teenager, right? So it not only benefits you in your work, but also can benefit you overall, if I may say so." So if I could give one advice to any of you listening to me, it would be just to explore yourself a little bit better. Try to know yourself a little bit better. Listen to what your heart is telling you, your body is telling you, because actually a burnout syndrome comes from the body refusing to work like this anymore, right? We are living inside of our body. So listen to your body, listen to your gut, list things out, and then make some baby steps, not the big decisions. Because if we are already exhausted, it is very hard for us to make the big, scary decisions. It is better to start with little baby steps.
Excellent. I like that a lot. Thank you. Roland,
Yeah,
what do you
sure.
think
To you.
Yeah. Yeah, what I can add as an advice to people is in an employee's role is just to be have clarity about what you really want. People can always express what they don't want, but the question is, what do you want? What is important for you in life? And be clear about what are your values. What values are important for your life to have a happy, fulfilled life? And then is the question, are these values fulfilled in your job? Yes or no? And when not, what is your contribution to make it working for you? And actually, it's amazing because, you know, afterwards when we do this talking head show, these are just the topics in all these episodes. It's focus on, where's your focus? Yeah. are you focused on things you can control, or are you focused on things you can't control? This can really make a difference. Most people are frustrated because they focus on things they can't control. The question is, when you focus on things you can control and do your best and give your best, maybe you have a happier life. But we are so distracted by things we can't control, and this makes us miserable, this makes us unhappy, and this brings us to burnout. So I guess there are 2 points, but I see in the corporate world, of course, I always say there's no bad employee, there's always bad managers. That's my strong belief. And some managers hate me for this, but that's my strong belief. Because we know when we do interviews, when people leave the corporate world, most of them tell me it's because of their boss. If it's right or not, doesn't matter, but that's their statement. Yeah. So there's a big part on the leaders, but it's also a big part of the employee themselves. Say, okay, first of all, before you blame your boss, be really clear. What do you want? And what is your contribution? What can you contribute to make it happen for you and your environment? And if you can do it, do it. If it's not possible because the circumstances doesn't allow this, then you have to make a decision. You stay and you suffer, or you go somewhere else. But first of all, don't complain. Start with yourself. Reflect yourself, what's your contribution. And if you say, okay, I want to do this, I want this, but I'm not allowed in this environment, but I need this to be happy, so my values are fulfilled, then get out, because otherwise you get sick.
Brilliant. I do have a question as an extended thought from what you just said. What if you like your manager, you like your direct report, but you like the manager whom you're directly reporting to, but that person is carrying out the corporate culture. It's the culture of the organization, and this person is the messenger. What do you do in that case?
You want to start, Marcin?
Well, this is one of the most difficult situations, I must say, because I know many cases of managers who try to shield their people from some corporate decision that they do not necessarily agree with. And this is a struggle, because on this corporate level and this social level, everything seems to be working, and decisions made there may not be necessarily the best one for those local cases. So this is actually not very good for the organization if the organization is not willing to listen to the people's voice. So as an organization leader, let's say, or board of directors of or whatever, if they are willing to listen of the feedback, how these corporate rules are perceived, or how they are affecting people work and performance, then the whole organization can change. But the sad cases are when the central part of the company is just perfectly happy with the whole setup, and then they are not very willing to listen. So in those cases, even if we have this small alliance with my direct report or with my leader, we can survive somehow, but I don't believe that we will achieve our full potential. I don't know if that makes sense, Roland.
Yes, I think that makes sense. Yes.
Absolutely.
What I was going to add was, in the cases that I've seen, when your leader, your manager is the one filtering in the information down and protecting the employee, that person gets burnout, because it's sort of like they're the dam holding back the information, and eventually it just starts to crumble.
Yes, exactly. And this is the situation when people are really suffering, and it starts pretty normal. So the first symptoms are just something that we can miss on, because I just got a little bit more tired, or maybe I just struggle to I don't know, waking up at a certain time, or there are those little things that I may or may not notice. And then our body, because actually this syndrome is based in body, our body is trying to communicate this need of just stopping this harmful behavior. And what our body can do it can shut down, right? So it can shut down some systems like sleeping system, digestive systems, nervous system is not so responsive, or we can have minor memory loss or lack of concentration, etc. So it is actually a signal from my body that something is wrong, and I just cannot prolong this behavior anymore, right? So this is a burnout then. So I think it is crucial just to be conscious about my role and what am I doing to others and for me. Because if I'm shielding my people from this communication that I do not agree with, or if I try to fight with something that I cannot change, eventually I will burn out. If I am not aware that situation is something harmful, and then I can, I don't know, maybe search for a different ways to just ventilate myself, or at least to speak up and say that I do not like it, but I may agree to it, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you for sharing that. A final question I have for the two of you is, and this happens, it's happened to me, I'm sure it's happened to many others, is you go to your work, you do what it is you're supposed to do, and then when the weekend comes, you want to take that time to be present for your family. But oh no, your employer is calling you over the weekend, or now there's an emergency meeting that's taking place, or you have reports that are now required for Monday morning, and you really don't have the option to say, no, I'm not going to do this. Do you?
Yes, you do.
Okay, Roland.
I got a lesson from my first wife at this moment. As I said, I had a very fast career, but I still was in the treadmill. Even if it was well paid, it was a golden treadmill. But I remember this. I was the youngest member of board of director, of course. So they always called me on weekends and late nights and stuff from there, because it was expected. And I remember this many years ago. I was smiling when you mentioned this. Can you stop it? Well, at that moment, I was not able to stop it, because I said, oh, it's a hell of money, so I'm the youngest, I do it. But my wife was able. I remember one story. Every Wednesday night was always our night. So we went out for a dinner and have communication for a drink or something like that. And I remember the owner of the company, an old guy. I learned a lot from him, by the way. God bless him. He passed away many years ago. And he called me like always, I don't know, it was 9:30 p.m. We just had, and it was, the phone was ringing, and my wife, she was pissed off, and I could see her. When I pick up the phone, she kills me. But anyway, I had more fear about my boss. So I picked up the phone, and I said, hello. And she took my phone and said, I wanted to say the name, mister, I am just spending my one of the rare moments with my husband. We have dinner together. It's 9:30 p.m. and I hope you have also somebody who wants to have dinner with you. Bye-bye. You see my man tomorrow at 6 in the morning. Thank you.
I love that.
And you know what? I was sitting in a restaurant and I said, oh, shit. This guy is firing me tomorrow. But you know what happened? Next morning he came back and he was more friendly, had more respect, and he always said, my best regards to your wife.
How about that? That's fantastic. But I'm sure you had a sleepless night. You had a sleepless night, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But that's the message. You can't stop it.
Yeah. If I can comment on that, I love this story, by the way. And my wife is my strongest ally in on my projects. And actually having something beside of the work that is valuable for us, it can be a close relationship, it can be a hobby, it can be other passions, can actually help us to build this leverage to get us up from the chair and out of the office. Because if you have nothing to do in your home, or nothing is scheduled, nothing planned that you are excited about, and probably sitting another hour or two in the office or at your laptop is perfectly okay, or at least seems to be. And this way we are just robbing ourselves from these precious hours that we can actually spend on something really rewarding, right?
Yes. Yes, that's true. That's definitely true. And I know when we get away from whatever it is that is toxic or is wearing on us or part of the burnout scenario, we can reflect because it's so easy. We've all seen it. We've all known someone who looks worn out. They look beaten down. They just look like that they're just cruising through life at a very low level of energy. And yet we can't necessarily see it when it's us.
I can add something because at the moment I'm coaching a GM of a huge international company, and I know him for many years from different other companies, and he's very supportive. He's always working. He's always there. A kind of people pleaser. And he's thinking about, oh, I love the company, but maybe I should change. And I said, you know what? It doesn't matter if you change or if you move somewhere else because you bring yourself with you. If you don't change, the same thing will happen over there. It's not about escaping and running away. As I said before, first of all, you have to reflect, what do you really want? And then try to change it. You cannot change a whole organization. When you work for a big organization, you cannot change a whole organization. That's not working. But you can change your environment, your team, your setting, and make the best out of it. Because to be honest, I mean, I left the corporate world many, many years ago because I didn't want this treadmill anymore. That's a different, but I highly respect people who work in an organization, but you have to be very clear. It's a deal. You sell your lifetime and your energy to get a kind of security. That's the price you pay. We as an entrepreneur, we pay the price for freedom and independence, insecurity, maybe some sleepless nights. We all have to pay the price. You have the feeling of getting a secure salary every month, but you have to pay the price. That's the deal. And if you don't want to pay the price, go for a different option. That's the choice. It's up to you, man or lady.
Absolutely. And this has been such an interesting conversation that I wasn't even looking at the clock because our next show with Roland is starting in less than 12 minutes. So I'm going to spotlight you just to share your contact information and how people can reach out to you and who you'd like to contact you.
Yeah. So definitely, if you wish to talk about emotions at work and how to manage them, then please visit my LinkedIn profile or just use my email, and then we can talk about how to actually share experiences. And I think that's it.
All right, fantastic. And we'll look forward to having you back on the platform for the men's show coming up in a couple of 2 or 3 weeks. So thank you for being here.
I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you for your time, Marcin.
Thank you
Thank you so much.
Attention.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for your attention. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Roland, how can people reach out to you and what's your Talking Head series about?
Yeah, if you want to reach out to me, go to my main platform. It's my name, rolandfriedl.com. It's just my name. It's for those who are listening on radio stations. It's ROLANDFRIEDL.com. It's my name, rolandfriedl.com. And then you find a link to my business website when you're working for an organization or when you're working for an organization, when you're executive manager, whatever, an owner of a company, you go there. If, as I mentioned before, you want to have the same crazy like myself with a lot of fun, with a lot of freedom, with traveling, going wild as life rocks. If you're a man and you want to learn about yourself more and become a better version of yourself as a man, yeah, as a husband, as a lover, as a father, as a son, maybe, then join us on Sparring for Men. Yeah, and what's the next show? It's the Talking Heads. Actually, the next episode, the full episode, is about increased control versus reduced control, reduced attention. And tonight I'm talking about control of attention. As I mentioned before, most people focus on things they can't control and get disappointed, frustrated, stressed, burnout. So this show we talk about how you can differentiate, how you can do it better for yourself. And if you're running a team, leading a team, how you can help your team to stay focused on the right topics.
Thank you, sir. I will let you go and get ready for the next segments, and I look forward to seeing you shortly.
Thank you. See you soon. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone. If you're over on our YouTube channel, please do click subscribe. We would love to have you with us in our USA Global TV and Radio family. And also, if you're interested in being a guest on any of our shows, please go over to our website, which is usaglobaltv.com. Book your session. You'll see when you're there, some of the shows will have a disclaimer by invitation only. That means you must be invited by that specific co-host to be a guest on that show, but the rest of them are all open to the general public. So thanks so much. We'll be back in a few minutes with Talking Heads. Stay tuned wherever you are. Bye.